Welcome back to the Jesse Rucinski Show. Another day, another headache. I was going to get into a bunch of stuff, which I will get into later, but now that Joe finally spoke, convenient timing. Hannah finally, she got just ready, getting ready to get to work. And suddenly, boom, there he is popping up on the screen finally, like a year and a half late. And, that I get to throw that in there now. I was expecting to do it tomorrow, for being honest. Or at least, some of it, because I just didn't expect them to actually get up there because they've been running so late during all of this that I really had no expectations. But it's a normal, speech from President Biden. Nothing exciting, nothing out of the norm. It was as usual. Everything. The normal bragging that it was a complete success, even though if you call any of that a complete success, you really actually are crazy. Like crazy. Like I'm crazy. You're actually dumb. I don't know. Something. But yeah, just because you got that many people out doesn't mean it was a success. Like that was abysmal. And we left people behind. So how the hell is that a success? People died over the stupidity, which equals no success. People died that didn't have to. Include lots of civilians and everything. That happened. People got left behind. Like those two things. I don't know how the hell you can call anything with those two things involved a great success, but it's not. Like you're actually an idiot. Like, and you look stupid to anyone that actually knows anything and has paid attention to any of anything that's been going on. Like, you really have to be like belligerently just dumb to think that was successful. Even when you look at the crazy mainstream media polls, which normally are very skewed, they are up there in the like mid to upper 80s on disapproval and thinking that this is just hell in a handbasket. When you get that many people agreeing on it, with how much anyone agrees in the country, again, I've said it before, that's bad. That's a cluster. And there's nothing successful about it, in my opinion. Then he turned around and said that he was ready for everything, which, well, if you saw the way it went, no, because you wouldn't have had to get, that many extra troops in there to secure the airport after they took over the whole country when they started in like mid-April, taking over territory everywhere. And it took until like everything, like the whole city was done in August for you to do anything and send anyone in and try to do anything. That's just sheer incompetence. Like, sorry, that's just the way it is. You don't like it, that's a personal problem. But like, if you were ready, then how is it just so bad? How I'm looking for good answers on this one. I've been thinking for a while. Like, if it was done so good and it was such a success, and you were ready for anything, how the hell did this happen? Because no one with anything in between their ears, no matter who the hell you are, would think that anything like to let any of this happen and consider it, like a good thing that anything, like any of most of this happened. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Like I just have at least I've had people that normally don't agree with anything with me agreeing that it could have been done different. But like the way this all went down, I'm sorry, hombre. You could try to say that you're ready for everything. I'm going to tell you you're full of shit. There's not too many people out there that are going to say it. They still try to put a nice spin on it, even though I don't understand how you could physically do that, but they are. And then he moved on to, all those thousands of people that suddenly wanted out. And, we gave them the opportunity forever and ever. And yet, well, Joe, that's because everything was still, all hell didn't break loose. Guarantee there's a lot of people that wanted out for a very long time. You could spin as much as you want. That's what you people do. You're the spin doctors, but they wanted out because the Taliban was taking over the country again in mid-April. And I'm sure, like everyone else, you figured I don't know, do something to stop the Taliban from taking over the whole thing, getting all that equipment, emptying out the prisons full of ISIS and Al Qaeda members. Like that was all on y'all. I wonder they all suddenly won out. Maybe it's because you let it go to hell in a handbasket, and there's a very good chance of very bad things are going to happen. Especially now, the media's gone, all that. So we'll see what they want us to see. Otherwise, nothing. And while anyone that ever spent any time or ever looked into anything there, it's going to be biblical. So I just, I don't know, man. Ladies and gents, I got nothing on that. But I mean, they probably wanted out for a very long time, just because you guys were all on vacation while it was happening. You came to give like a 3-second speech and went back to Camp David. You're sitting alone. You didn't talk to any of our allies. You didn't do anything. Like, sorry, and blame everyone else under the sun as much as you want. Even blame the people that are stuck there, like it's their damn fault that they're there. Like, you knew this was happening since mid-April. You didn't do anything. That don't fall on them. That falls on y'all. And the sheer and utter incompetence that encompassed this whole entire thing. And I really actually can't find a better word than incompetence. So, you have to figure that one out on your own. But it's just, it was in shambles, and he did his normal thing. He brought up Trump, putting 5,000 Taliban, as that's what he calls them, letting them get out. They're the ones that did all this. Well, I mean, when you were in charge, remember the Bo Bergdahl thing? Yeah, traitor literally walked off his post, got people killed, all that, got medals, all kinds of stuff. You traded him for 5 people, and one of them was right there in the Taliban takeover. Right there in the picture. Boom, helped do it all. And then when you knew that they were taking over the whole country, and he was one of the people that your dumbass probably didn't, all the incompetence going on. Let them, when they took over all those things, you knew the bases were getting, you turned the lights off and literally just left the air base and see you later, bye, without telling anyone. And look at all the thousands of them that got out there, like ISIS, that did that attack, which again, we allegedly knew when and where it was going to happen, still banging at people there. So, but Taliban was working with us for security, even though they knew the exact threat, and it still happened. But yeah, like you did that, then you let them take over and then empty out all the prisons, and then those people ended up carrying out attacks. So, yeah, the blood on a lot of people's hands. But the way this all went down, because he let those 5,000 people out, and last time I checked, we didn't. We still had months without anyone dying, let alone having 13, 14 plus what, 20 more injured, almost 200 Afghanis. I mean, sorry, guy, that happened while you were president. That all happened. This hasty, stupid, just let them take over the whole country. Who cares? Look at all the weapons they have. Who cares? Like you said, the buck stops here. I don't know if you guys are tired of hearing it, but I'm tired of hearing him say the buck stops here, because if the buck really did stop there, I mean, so far, let's just get everything in perspective for everybody. He's blamed the Afghani government, which has always been sketchy, the Afghani military, which has always been sketchy, the intelligence community, military officers. He blames civilians for being there because they didn't want out. Now suddenly they do. Nationals for not getting there. Donald Trump and his administration, he has blamed every single human being on God's green earth except for his own goddamn self. Him and his people are not going to get any account. They're not going to be held accountable at all, sadly, for all this. At least unless something good happens in 2022 and suddenly everyone has, we have the power to actually get them. He's blamed everyone, and I take responsibility for the decisions, but it's Trump's fault. Well, Trump hasn't been president for 7 months by the time they got there, right around by the time they got to Kabul, took over the whole thing. I mean, he was gone for a very long time at that point. This is all your people, all your intelligence, your military, everything. You put them all in place. They were all your people. They were sending out stuff saying they're taking over the whole country. You guys didn't do anything. You blame him as much as you want, and you renegotiated with him to put this date. So you can blame everyone else under the sun. Sadly, there's a lot of people that will let you get away with blaming everyone else under the sun. But I hate to break it to you, he's been gone for a very long time. And yeah, that's on you. That's on no one else. And I hate to be that guy, but how can you blame him for, just like they blame him for gas prices, he did this, and they blame for inflation because he did this. Not mention, they've spent like how many trillions of dollars this year. That's really not helping anything at all. For anyone that has a brain knows that's big spinner on all this. Everything's going up. What happens? Believe it or not, for any of us that have a brain, we know these things. I don't know why they don't get it, but please God, take responsibility for like something. Stop blaming everyone else under the sun. This was on y'all. This is on y'all's watch. Every single person that died from COVID when there weren't any tests or anything for it at all last year when it hit the U.S. and he did travel bans before anyone wanted to, and all those deaths are allegedly on Trump's hands. Everyone on the left said it for forever. And how the hell are these not on Biden's hands? Like people like you guys will. Trump can do anything. You guys will never know. Trump supporters jumped on Trump all the time when he actually did dumb stuff. This is literally letting Joe get away with murder, and a lot of them that I know aren't even batting an eye. They don't care. Which is disgusting and hurts my brain. But again, every day is a new headache for me. The comparison with Yemen, I'm really tired of that pile of shit too. The attack was from Yemen, not Afghanistan. Would we have gone to Afghanistan at all? Well, here and there, because that's where they were harboring all the people that did it. So we went in there to get them, and then to get rid of the Taliban who was doing it, harboring them. And again, that was like the mission, wasn't it, to get rid of bin Laden, which he keeps talking about. Oh, we got him. He voted against it. In case no one knew that. And and to get Taliban out of control. Now Taliban's back in control, and with a hell of a lot better arsenal than they ever had, thanks to the U.S. taxpayers. And them just pulling out hastily and giving all kinds of shit up. Like lots. Like we've all seen the number of weapons and vehicles and planes. And I mean, they gave up an egregious amount of stuff. Let's see. I think, 22,000, plus Humvees, 634. M1117s, 155 Max Pro mine-proof vehicles, 169 M113 armored personnel carriers, 42,000 pickup trucks and SUVs, 64,000 plus machine guns, 8,000 trucks, 160,000 radios, 16,000 night vision goggles and devices, 358,000 assault rifles, 126,000 pistols, 176 pieces of artillery, 30 Mi-17 helicopters, 33 Blackhawks, 43 MD-530s, 4 C-130 transports, 23 Embraer EMB 314 A-29 Super Tucanos, 28 Cessna 208s, 10 Cessna AC-208 strike aircraft. Yeah, just the U.S. government accounting office is where we got all those numbers. So, yeah, they're super well equipped now because the taxpayer dollars. And again, if anyone tries to do that, shift the blame onto anyone else but him. That's it. But the purpose of it was to get bin Laden, which again, Joe Biden voted against. He did vote to send us in there. Now the Taliban's in control. They have the whole country. ISIS is there. Al Qaeda's there because they got let out. ISIS is carrying out attacks. Then that's not a good thing. And he keeps talking about over the horizon. Now, if really, like if that's working so well, we have the capabilities, then why do we keep having to talk about it metastasizing all over the world, like so many places? There's very few. We don't have boots on the ground there. Yeah, look at all the places where it's metastasized, where we have zero anything. Nothing substantial to do anything. All over the world. It's doing so well. Why is it all over the world and even worse? And now we just gave them Afghanistan back to them. So the Taliban and ISIS, who's there, and Al Qaeda, and they're gonna harbor up and do their things like they used to do. It's gonna happen all over again because it's just the way it is, and everyone loves to do that. But the over horizon was so good. Why is it metastasized all over the planet? If they could see all these people doing all this stuff and take them out, then why is it spread like wildfire all over the place? And it's another food for thought that makes absolutely no sense. Your brain works. I never mentioned the kids that died in those attacks that we made on ISIS-K. Didn't mention the guy that actually, the Afghani that actually saved him when he was still Senator Biden in '08 and got him out of there when they were stuck somewhere. And he didn't mention all the, military dogs, which, we've actually, I believe, seen them get left out, let out of the cages in some videos, and that some of them were actually left behind. I've heard mixed stories, but couldn't mention any of that. Talking about women and girls all the time. There's all the time in Taliban going back into Kurl. It's amazing how much the mainstream media and the squad and the Kamalas and all the people that were all about women's rights and safety, I have none of them mentioned it at all. Like what's going to happen to them by letting the Taliban get in charge, because they hate to break it, it's Taliban. Now they're better aimed. Taliban 20 years later pissed off at us. It's amazing. All the people that talk about all that all the time didn't mention it at all. And here he comes, boom. At least he said something about it. But where the hell have you been for weeks? And why didn't you fight for them? Talking about human rights. And you just let them take over the whole country. Like we all know what the Taliban's done. Anyone with a brain. Hell, someone the other day tried to tell me they're like freedom fighters. Like you do realize like they shoot people, like women, in the face for not wearing burqas. Women get stoned to death for getting gang raped. Like it's their fault. Chop off like the tips of women's thumbs if they're wearing nail polish. I mean, like that's just to name a few. Like they're genuine like child trophies as sex slaves and stuff. Like their human rights is the last thing they ever do. And I'm pretty sure it's happening in places where there weren't, cameras and all that up in the other provinces, besides where everything got compressed down into, because there was nowhere else for them to go. But it's amazing how they didn't mention any of that. I don't want to be, that guy. But I mean, why does he have to keep bringing up Bo? Just like the Gold Star family said, like he brought up Bo as a scripted thing. They felt it was cold and callous and all. Like why? Like we know your son Bo is in the military. We get it. He didn't die from a suicide attack that was caused by like sheer and utter incompetence, which you just let them take over the whole country, which is when the ISIS guys got released out of the prisons they were in, and why they then carried out attacks and all that. Like, don't bring it up just for sympathy. He died in his 40s of cancer. It had nothing to do with the same damn thing. Not even close to the same situation at all. So please, for the love of God, shut the hell up. It's disrespectful, which is why you see so many Gold Star families are pissed. He just keeps doing it, and everyone keeps, oh, poor. Like, how many times did he bring him up while he was on the campaign? When he answered questions about stuff over there, like it has nothing to do with anything, but he still did it, and people still let him get away with it. And here we are. And if one more person like lets him get away saying the country will be safer, like I don't want to be that guy, but I hate to break it to you that this is not over. They will be here. We will be back there. And this isn't over. Quote was it Stone Cold? This isn't over. Not yet. Not yet by a long shot. Like it's not at all. Like it's gonna keep like this is not over. Like he pretty much is guaranteed this is moving on to a fifth president. If his goal was to make it so it doesn't have to go on to a fifth president, well, he sure will out of his way to make it seem like his exact goal was to make sure this went on to a fifth president. More people died because you just gave them safe passage in yet another country to do whatever the hell they want. Look how much we were getting attacked back then. Everyone was. Like it's going to get worse, and all of our allies pretty much hate us now. So that's very exciting. As he worked with them, even though we heard British Parliament and Angela Merkel and all kinds of people, our allies, talking all kinds of shit about him, just boop, gone. Not any regard, not doing anything to help them, not changing the date, not doing anything he could, leaving them high and dry. So it's going to be screwed, just so everyone knows. I don't want it to happen, but history repeats itself. Especially when when this guy's involved, it's continuous repeating itself. Like it's never ending history repeating itself. Yeah, go back to couldn't change it, couldn't rearrange it. So there it is, like paraphrasing Kid Rock. It's the way it is, sorry. But now we'll move on to what I was going to talk about, just the more stupid that's come out. Jen Psaki on August 23rd saying she thinks it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. And then, Kirby this morning, August 31st, for the Pentagon spokesperson guy, we have Americans that get stranded in countries all the time. Well, which is it? Irresponsible to say that they're stranded because they're not. literally 8 days later, oh, we have people stranded all the time. Yeah, those people are screwed. The numbers are so ass backwards. I'm not hearing from 100 and there's 200. And, I mean, the numbers they said of people that were over there compared to how many they got out. I mean, none of the numbers add up. So there's a great one. But yeah, which one is it? Like, first people are yelling because they're using the word stranded and it's irresponsible. And then suddenly their own people are using it 8 days later. Like, just be straight up and honest. People will be pissed. But I mean, be honest. People will be mad, but in my experience, people are a lot less pissed off when you play a lot less games and all that. And they just keep playing with the wording. That's like really a lot of what they've done this whole entire time is just playing with the wording of everything and getting just pissy at people a lot. But there's that. There have been reports, even like before they took over, like completely, like we left in outer provinces, doing public executions of people that were all our allies and people that couldn't get out. And now, like there was all the shooting and gunfire, everything in Kabul after we left. I mean, they knew we left. Like they're all over the place. And that they started going, really going door to door, doing public execution to anyone they can get their hand on that helped us, or anyway, because we gave them a list. It's funny how they denied it, then they confirmed it, then denied it again. Again, if they could just make up their damn mind and tell the truth, that'd be great. Just one time. I'm not asking for much here, but tell the truth. How hard is it? I don't think it's that hard. People are pissed regardless. I mean, at least let them be pissed about, being told like the truth when it's a complete cluster than being lied to and having to come back and retract everything. So everyone's even more pissed in my, personal experience. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I don't get a lot of it. I'm going through all the stuff here. Like, I don't get a lot of it. Like, I just, people like they say it was a success. They say it was good. They say it was this. They say it was that. I mean, I just went over the number of stuff the Taliban now has weapon wise. We destroyed stuff at the Kabul airport that was left behind. As again, sheer incompetence and rushing to do all this, no matter what they say. People got left behind, equipment got left behind. They have an arsenal now. The president didn't, wasn't the one to tell us it was over as the press guy for the Pentagon, which is just weird. That's his big thing, and he got rid of it. And again, Joe's whole entire thing, this whole time, the objective was to, get Bin Laden, get the Taliban, who was harboring them and doing all this stuff, out of power. Except now they're back in power, and they have a lot of like all sorts of our equipment. And he voted against going after Bin Laden again. So I mean, like, I'm just over it all. Like that's the big like problem with it. That's really. I mean, if this doesn't give you headaches or piss you off, I really don't know what does. But I see the notebook is getting close. So I mean, like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, if he's gonna say one thing, actually hold him to it. If you're someone that's listening to me and you're on the other side, like, hold him accountable for what he's changed his mind 95 times. He said it was a success. We didn't put more people in harm's way, but the way this all went down is what put people in harm's way and why people died. The Taliban was the problem. Why the hell? Like, you just gave them the whole arsenal by the way you pulled out. And you gave yourself extra months compared to Trump's deadline, and you still screwed it up. You somehow missed them, like, taking over the whole country until they had everything but the airport for months, like 4 months. You missed it there, Joe. How? Like, how incompetent are the people that are working for you? So, like, how many of those do we get when people are taking questions like the Secretary of Defense, for Christ's sake, not able to answer anything? Like, how embarrassing is that? Like, really, truly, egregiously embarrassing is that? And I'm sorry, I'm happy we have, like, it has nothing to do, like, any of the crazies out there. Oh, it's because he's black. No, it has nothing to do with that. When you give someone the job, he's the first this. It's Mayorkas, he's the first that. Like, you give so many people jobs so they're the first everything. But there's more qualified people. I'm sorry, doesn't matter what you are. I don't care what the hell you are, but let people are actually qualified to do all these jobs. Because look at the immigration thing, look at this whole Afghanistan thing, and everyone involved. Well, they were going after white rage while Afghanistan was collapsing. Like that's just sheer stupid. That should never happen. If you are okay with it, then you are stupid, and I'm sorry that you ever happened. Um, I don't know. I can't. Can't deal with it. I know a lot of people that are pissed. I've been somewhere in between everything. Mad, sad, disgusted. Pissed off seems to be a good one for a lot of us. And more news keeps coming out the whole time. So why not just jump ahead of it and actually tell the truth? Stop blaming the whole world. If the buck stops with you, why are you blaming everyone but yourself? And you say, God bless America. Why do you why can't you just do anything? Like show any sort of leadership whatsoever. Again, I'm not asking for much here from the left. Just holy Christ, like Pelosi called them back to spend like a couple more $1 trillion, and not one thing was actually about figuring out what the hell went wrong in Afghanistan. Like, I'm sorry, that's disgusting all the way down the board, and everyone should be held accountable. I'm feeling no one will. There'll be some scapegoats here and there, but I mean, it's embarrassing. Again, I was in a different sandbox. I was only in Iraq. Never got to go to Afghanistan. Tried. After 10 months, they're like, sorry, the boots get to go because they've only been here for like 3 months because I got there late. So, didn't get to go, but I know a lot of people that did. A lot of people that died. A lot of people have died since that were there. And I'm pretty sure it stings all of us, pisses us all off to no end. And watch how many people don't give a damn. That makes it 1,000 times worse. And just to see the sheer utter incompetence happening in all of it pisses us off. People telling us, oh, well, you're trying to give it the that never had anything to do with anything. That pisses us off. When we actually know a thing or two, you're giving, here's my opinion. Well, your opinion actually doesn't mean shit because there's no facts or any kind of anything to actually back it up. You're just dumb. At least that's the way I'm taking it. That's the way a lot of people are taking it. But again, now that we got everyone, I mean, can't even say that. Oh, well, the military's out. Never mind all of our Afghan allies that risk their lives for us, and some Americans like that's going to go through diplomacy. As the Taliban's known for diplomacy. That's why they took all of our stuff, and we're just like, cool, bye, take it. They've done a good job of that, but we'll see. I don't consider it a success or over though. Not yet, not by a long shot. And there will be a fifth president. Sadly, that's the deal with it, in my opinion, because they just did this so ass backwards. It's unfathomable that this works peacefully and actually works out. It's zero faith, but we shall see. And with that, I shall bid you adieu for the day. Don't forget to follow along. You want to see the videos? They're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and Getter under the Jesse Rucinski Show. The audio is on Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Spotify, and Apple and Google Podcasts, all under the Jesse Rucinski Show. You can catch up to all of them. Audio is probably easier if you're in a car or whatever, but you can just play them straight through and your phone dies less, which is good. But follow along, tell people about it, share it out for me. Do me the favor. Free advertisement is the best kind of advertisement. Get more eyeballs on it. Comment again. Tell me what you think. Let me know. Message me on any of them. I respond normally as quick as I get them, unless I'm in a cornhole battle. Then, well, I'll respond when I'm done. But again, I appreciate the listen. I appreciate the watch. Be kind to each other. Learn some stuff. Don't talk your suck when you have no idea what you're talking about. And until next time, my friends, peace.